And again, monkey see, monkey do. Now they don't have any business acumen, so it's hard for them to comprehend it. Despite how many times I say it, they still don't get it. That they don't understand the difference between markup and margin. And that's a problem. Well, how much you guys charging for this? Who cares? Well, why do you want to know what your competitor charges? Your competitor might say, let's talk about a square of asphalt shingles. We'll talk architectural. So here in the Atlanta area, all in between materials, labor, dumpster, they're at about $380 a square. So how much? So if your cost is $380 a square, how much do you charge? They want to ask each other. Maybe you're asking a guy who's got a lot of buying power, so his cost, per square is cheaper, both labor and materials. Maybe he's only at $300 a square. So when he marks his up for the same, say, 40% margin that you're marking up, the price is still way different. So what your competitor's charging is irrelevant. You need to know your numbers. You need to know how to mark your stuff up for your desired gross profit margin. And if you know, and you have to know what your desired gross profit margin is, because you have to know your overhead to get at your proper net profit margin. This they don't comprehend. They don't know. They don't understand. And then the other thing they're always arguing about is, especially in the insurance space with the Xactimate and Symbility programs being very line item driven. Well, the adjuster says we don't owe for that line item, or we don't owe for supervisory hours. We don't owe for overhead and profit. And I'm like, yeah, well, when you go to Walmart and buy that apple pie from the bakery, does it have apples listed out? Does it have a cup of sugar? Does it have brown sugar? Does it have cinnamon? Does it have, yeast and all, whatever else goes in? No. Here's the freaking pie. It's $8 or whatever it is. It's all in there. How did they come up with $8? Cost of goods sold plus the markup for their desired profit margin. Here's the sales price. Every business on the planet does that, except for roofers and mitigators, because they're so in love with the insurance companies. But it's like going to Vegas and expecting to win. You're playing the line item game and they're experts at it. You're never going to win. You might win a few hands, but at the end of the day, you're not where you want to be, need to be, or should be. And what's it boil back to? Business acumen.
Yep. So, a question I wrote down, how do you help the business owners, overcome the resistance to change, right? Particularly when it comes to just implementing new systems, implementing new marketing metrics, or even when it comes to their way of hiring people, their way of training people, right? Regardless of what it is, because I know there's always a lot of resistance, right? Especially, as you, let's say, level up in business, you make more money, your ego starts to go up a little bit, right? So how do you, again, how do you help those types of business owners overcome the resistance to change?
It isn't easy. I mean, in the trade space, dentists, chiropractors, lawyers, accountants tend to be more book educated, if you will, and have at least some business acumen. Lawyers suck at collecting money. They know how much to charge and they know how to argue contracts and whatever they do, but they suck at collecting money. They don't understand. But having that education, they got enough going up here to at least know what they don't know, right? So part of it is to get the contractors to understand that they know what they know, but they don't know what they don't know. So somebody like me knows what they don't know, and we work together. So with the software and stuff that I have, I can show them real time where they're at, and if we make these incremental changes, where they could be. It's data driven. The software uses 497 million algorithmic sequences to help show this data picture where it's at. Some of them are just closed-minded, and I've learned you can't argue with a closed-minded person. Dude, just go hit your head against just go hit your head against a brick wall. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Right.
But those that want to listen, those that understand they don't know what they don't know, we start with the foundation. So you as a business, what is your goal outside of revenue and profit? Who is your avatar? What is your market dominating position? What makes you special over your four closest competitors? Those types of things. So we scale it way back, and then we build on the foundational principles of business. And then once you've got that, now you've got a market dominating position. So how does that market dominating position then segue into a compelling offer? Once you've got a compelling offer, so now you can start building your sales scripts. Now you can start building out your SOPs for the systems and processes within. How do you get the sales contract? How do you submit the sales contract? What positions do what, job descriptions, and then so everything is its own system. The greater ecosystem is its own systems and processes, but each one of those little functions or roles is its own systems and processes. And each one's got its own,
Yeah.
steps you have to go through to get there. But when they work with me, because I'm not a mindset coach, not at all. I mean, I know some, buzzwords and some tricky things to say that are kind of cool and make sense. But anybody who hires me, depending on which program they're on, they get access to a mindset coach. Either, 3 sessions over the course of the 13-week program, or once a month, depending on which program they're in, which helps with those limiting beliefs. Because when I tell a business owner who's used to trying to price match or argue with the customer over, so and so bid this and I'm at this, I'm more, I don't know how to get them to buy, blah, blah, blah. Well, you're fighting over price. Quit fighting over price. Provide the outcome that they're looking for and provide substantial value in that outcome. You're going to charge more. Sure, you might not get that customer because if they're being that stingy, you don't want them anyway. They're going to be the pain in your neck. You don't want the guy that's going to argue with you over $500. You want the guy that's going to say, when you say it's $50,000, he writes you a check and doesn't bug you about it. But if you got somebody arguing with you over $500 and they needle at you constantly, when is this going to be done? When can we do this? When about this? And they're just a nag. You don't want that. Let the guys who like the low hanging fruit and like the drama and like the BS.
Right.
That's the guy that's going to not do right by them anyway. But part of that is because the contractor got sick and tired of the BS that this whiny Karen type of customer was. You don't want that person, unless you do, and most businesses don't. But you want the one over here that's going to sign the finance agreement, write the check, throw the credit card down, whatever. Great, you're my guy. That's the one you want. So you need to, again, market dominating position, compelling offer, get you the lead of your ideal client, your avatar. What does that avatar look like to you? I mean, you looking to work in only the $1 million neighborhoods with people with, 250,000 plus income a year? Johnny and Susie going to private school and ballet and piano after? Is that your avatar? Or are you looking for somebody that's in the inner city scraping to get by and they're playing shell games with welfare and EBT? I'm not getting down on those folks because social services are needed. Don't anybody get me wrong. But you're talking two different types of clientele. You're talking a
100%.
Lamborghini buyer versus a Kia Rio buyer. They each have a market, right?
Yep.
But you as the business owner, what is your sweet spot? Like I talked a couple days ago, well, last week, I talked to a guy out of Iowa that does concrete work. One of the few guys that has a pump trailer, which they're not even in service with that yet. There's some repairs and stuff being done with that, and they'll be rolling that out first of the year. But their thing is they build these grand concrete steps and entryways into these higher end homes. I'm like, well, how much does something like that cost? He says, between 25 and 50,000, depending on, how big of an area or whatever. I said, okay. And he says one of their other revenue generators is to repoint chimneys. And basically what that is you got mortar between your bricks. So repointing it is doing new mortar and smoothing it out, making, filling the cracks and that kind of thing. I said, well, what do you charge for that? He says $1,000 per story. I said, so a 2-story house, for the most part, unless they got a daylight basement and the chimney's out the back, you're at $2,000 to repoint. He said, yeah. I said, and you're at $25,000 to $50,000 to put in a staircase, one of these grand new steps up into their house at the front. He says, yeah. I said, well, why not anybody who buys a new entry from you on that $25,000 to $50,000, give them a 50% discount on repointing their chimney. Your guys are already on site. All the equipment's already there. Basically, it's a time commitment for them just to turn around, mix up some extra mortar and go repoint the chimney. He said, that's a great idea. So there you go. So if that's your offer, now you're bundling those two services as it's kind of an upgrade, but when you market it as buy your steps from me, get 50% off on a chimney repoint. Not everybody has a chimney, but of everybody who has a chimney, who doesn't want to at least entertain that?
Exactly.
So now you've entered the conversation taking place in their mind. Hey, dear, we need new steps. Yeah, we need some work on the chimney too. Yeah, that's the conversation taking place in their mind. He's not going to sell a $25,000 to $50,000 set of steps to somebody who's, content with having a porch made out of treated lumber. That's not his customer. That's not his avatar. So it all kind of goes back to that. But that's why you have to start the foundational stuff. So these guys that learn to go knock doors and sell roofing or whatever, they don't have any foundational basis for where their company is, why their company is. Well, they wanted a bigger piece of the pie. Okay, great. It's great that you've got that entrepreneurial spirit and that you want the bigger piece of the pie, but there's still some business foundational things that you're going to need in order to have a business that has any longevity. So again, it goes back to that foundation. So, and mindset's a big one, because when I start saying charge more for X, their eyes get real big and they start to get a little bit, I'm already having trouble charging what I'm charging and getting paid.
Exactly.
And the other thing too is be contractors, especially in the roofing and water mitigation space. Quit trying to be insurance experts. Be a contractor. Well, people want help with the insurance. I'm like, why? So there's attorneys and public adjusters, just referring. I said, you're a contractor. Go fix what's broke. Here's my invoice. Get paid. Keep it moving. Why do you care where your customer gets the money to pay you? Maybe it's cash in a mattress. Maybe they're going to call the bank and get a HELOC. Maybe they can write a check. Maybe they got American Express Platinum card and they'll just give you a credit card. Maybe it is an insurance claim. Why do you care? You're a contractor. Fix what's broke and keep it moving. And I use the analogy with heating and air guys and electricians. Lightning fries electrical panels. Lightning fries an HVAC system. When was the last time you ever heard of an electrician or a heating and air guy arguing with an insurance company over you owe me overhead and profit or supervisory hours or this line item or that line item? They don't. They go out and say, yep, lightning blew up your panel. It's X amount of dollars. Here's my invoice. We take credit card, check, cash. I don't care. Here's my invoice. They don't say, call your insurance and file a claim. We'll argue with them. They're electricians. They're not insurance experts. Be a contractor. Let the insurance experts be insurance experts. And especially the way things are going in the insurance space, they need to learn that sooner than later. And I'm willing to bet in the next 3 to 5 years, you're going to see insurance companies clamp down so hard on roofing contractors and water losses, they're going to have a retail model. So they go sell their service like anybody else in the retail space. And if it is an insurance claim, who cares? That's up to the homeowner.